Day 2 of testing in Bahrain. 8 further hours of running for teams and drivers to better understand their 2026 machines. Turn 10 was once again a talking point on the second day of running. The tricky off-camber corner caught out the majority of the runners on day 1. And it was Sergio Perez first to head off-piste after a big lock-up in his Cadillac. The Mexican also brought out the day's first red flag, his team quickly fixing the issue, allowing him to return to the action soon after. But it was Alex Albon who locked up, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times into the troublesome turn 10. The Thai driver also had a mishap at turn 1 on 2 occasions, before setting the 5th fastest time of the morning. 2 of the most experienced drivers weren't immune to a mishap either. Both Fernando Alonso and Nico Hülkenberg locking up and running off at the 10th turn. Despite this, the German was optimistic with the progress made in Bahrain so far.
I think good step forward in terms of performance, in terms of reliability, and just being able to get laps in, to get kilometers on the car. We've made some big steps forward there, between Barcelona and here. Then Bahrain is a very, very different circuit to Barcelona. Much more stop and go, low speed dominated. It's a very hard, and unforgiving tracks that really exposes a lot of weaknesses usually, and historically from any car, because the rough tarmac, kind of low grip, very windy, hot track temp. So it's there isn't many other tracks that or where you find harder conditions. So it's a true good test.
Teammate Gabriel Bortoleto would take over for the afternoon, the Brazilian struggling for purchase as he tested the limit of his 2026 Challenger.
It's like teaching a baby how to walk and talk, and we need to do this as quick as possible and in a good way as well.
Charles Leclerc started the day for Ferrari, having set over 130 laps alongside Lewis Hamilton on Wednesday. The Monegasque driver claimed 7 podiums last season, but was unable to add to his 8 Formula One race victories. A positive week in Spain saw Ferrari clock over 430 laps, second only to Mercedes, and a session topping time on Thursday morning will ensure those in red will be happy with the progress made so far. But the man from Monaco didn't have the perfect morning. An unusual mistake at turn 11 was followed by a lack of stability through turn 14. Despite this, Ferrari ended the day with the fastest time, Leclerc clocking a 1:34.273, over half a second faster than Lando Norris in P2. Both Liam Lawson and Sergio Perez gave turn 1 a wide berth in the morning session, locking a front wheel but escaping without any further issues. The Mexican also had a lock-up at turn 8, but was able to log 42 laps, setting a fastest time of a 1:38.653 in the morning session. The 6-time race winner aware of the task ahead.
Yeah, it's been quite challenging, getting back into it with such a big regulation change. I think we all starting from zero in a way, and getting used to it. It's been tricky, with all the information that even for the engineers to understand what modes, what energy levels are we running, how are we saving the energy through the lap, and we have a lot of variables at the moment that we're trying to get on top of.
Teammate Valtteri Bottas took over for the afternoon, and despite losing a small section of his car as he bumped along the main straight, the Finn ensured his team completed a healthy 109 laps across Thursday. Lando Norris clinched his maiden Formula One World Championship after a strong end to the 2025 season, a year which saw him claim 7 wins and 18 podiums, become one of only 35 drivers to summit the peak of Formula One. The Britain Papaya adorns the number 1 for 2026, the first McLaren driver to do so since Jenson Button in 2010. The world champ had a small lock-up into turn 1 and was lucky to get away with it, whilst following George Russell as the dusk fell in Bahrain.
Watch for Lando. There. So he's arrived at quite a speed there, and also on board with Lando. Look what gear he's going into down at turn 10 as well. Yeah, he's down into first gear.
But the Brit ended the day with the second fastest time, completing 149 laps in total.
Yeah, it was good. Good learning, high fuel, low fuel, everything in between. I mean, it's also a day where, obviously the temperature changes a lot, which is a big part of it. The wind changes an incredible amount, and that's a big part of it. So every run, even if you do the same thing, it's changing, and obviously the battery is changing every run, and there's a lot of stuff you're trying to get on top of and understand and adapt to. So certainly a complicated, challenging day.
There was no joy for Red Bull and Mercedes on Thursday morning. Isaac Hadjar made just the one tour as Red Bull fixed a hydraulic issue, while Kimi Antonelli was able to complete just the 3 laps due to an engine problem. Hadjar would be one of the first out in the afternoon and would end the day with 87 laps as George Russell took over at Mercedes, leaving the Silver Arrows with 87 laps by day's end. One team lapping happily was Williams. Despite the growth-based outfit missing the shakedown in Spain, they topped the charts for laps recorded on day 1 of testing. They continued this impressive form, ending the day with 131 laps more on the board, setting the 9th fastest time in the process, with Alex Albon at the wheel. Both drivers getting to grips with their 2026 machinery.
For me, the biggest thing is how different it feels drivability-wise. The engine, the downshifts, the upshifts, everything seems quite a bit different to last year. Still extremely early days. We need to fine-tune a lot all the systems in the car. And yeah, driving-wise, they are not actually that different. It's just putting the Monza aero in the car for Bahrain. But it feels very light. It feels very, very, very low downforce compared to last year. But nothing weird.
Between myself and Carlos, we're enjoying the challenge of driving them. They are so different. They are complicated, but I feel like I'm hoping that it rewards the experienced drivers and the ones that can kind of understand how these systems work. If you can just make things consistent for the driver, that actually goes a long way in terms of performance as well.
Aston Martin completed just 36 laps on Wednesday due to a technical problem with their power unit. The Honda engineers were able to fix the car before Alonso stepped in on Thursday, the 2-time champ clocking up an impressive 55 laps in the morning. Despite a couple of small lockups and a battle with Russell, progress was made throughout the afternoon, allowing the Silverstone-based team to end the day with 98 laps on the board. Elsewhere, Ollie Bearman scraped his floor along the curves, causing sparks to fly as the sun started to set in Bahrain. The Brit continued the progress made by Esteban Ocon on day 1, adding a further 130 tours to the American team's total, ending the day with the 3rd fastest time to boot. Pierre Gasly scored all of Alpine's points in 2025, but the Frenchman struggled for consistency in what was a tricky car to master. Despite reaching Q3 on an impressive 10 occasions, he would only end up in the points at 5 Grand Prix. The French team have lots to learn having switched to Mercedes power in 2026, but a competitive time on day 1 was backed up with the 7th fastest time on Thursday. Disappointingly for Gasly, his day was brought to an early end, the Alpine driver coming to a halt as he completed a flying lap with 2 hours to go.
We took some precautions and meant that we didn't run at the end, which would have been nice to get these small laps, but overall we still got quite a lot done. Every single run, every single lap we're learning about these new cars, about this new engine, about the way we work with the Mercedes people. Still a lot of learning, and hopefully we can have another clean day as a team tomorrow.
At the top, it was Leclerc from Norris, Bearman, Russell and Hadjar. Bortoleto, Gasly, Bottas, Albon and Hulkenberg rounded out the top 10. 11th was Lindblad ahead of Sainz, Lawson, Alonso and Perez. McLaren completed the most laps on day 2, as Ferrari, Racing Bulls, Williams and Haas all completed 130 laps or more. Audi and Cadillac completed over 100 laps, with Aston Martin and Alpine not far behind. A strong afternoon meant Red Bull completed 87 laps, with Mercedes only managing 57.